Cool. Okay, we're live on Facebook. So today our guest is a digital marketing consultant and trainer. She's the founder and CEO of Growth Channel and a CMO at 7 Marketers Group Agency. She hails all the way from Germany, but she's coming to us live because she's quarantined in California. So let's give a warm welcome to Maryna. Maryna, it's great to have you.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Ross. Hi, everyone. So I'm glad to be here and talk to you about growth hacking and marketing during these crazy times. I think everyone is having some tough time in one way or another, trying to figure out how to go around this whole quarantine and business stability, so to say. So yeah, I would like to share with you a few thoughts of mine and about how we can approach the situation, what we can still do in terms of marketing, and yeah, if you guys have any questions during while I'm talking, just feel free to interrupt me. I'm going to share my screen. Let's figure this out. Share.
Perfect.
All right. Do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. So yeah, just a little bit of in terms of ideas that, okay, what we can do in terms of marketing on a high level. So things like search engine optimization, I think that's everyone should not neglect. And this is a perfect time to do it because we're all stuck at home. I mean, it's not really the time to push lots of ads out there and press releases. So SEO is something that we can definitely audit on and revisit. So things like, do the on-site audit, like our meta titles, descriptions, interlinking the pages, making sure that different pages are connected when there is a relevancy. We can refresh the old content, so it's perfect time to kind of go back to our content creation spirit and make sure that we've got some live content out there that's fresh. Google always picks up on that and prioritizes content that's newer. Repurpose old content. So for example, if you got a podcast, you can also then transcribe it, make it in a blog post or another way around. There are also tools that can automatically put your recent blog post in, let's say, podcasts. So you can also use some of those tools to make sure you don't waste too much time. And fix any issues. So there are multiple sites like Neil Patel has a site, everyone has a site of their own for SEO checks. And okay, this is my personal favorite, SEO site checkup. It's very detailed. You can download the PDF report. It gives you full breakdown on every different activity of, let's say, what we need to test. So anyone here who wants to check on their site, we can also do it here. So we can go through different elements. Anyone volunteering?
Should we do sway metrics? Jake, what do you think?
Are you happy with that, Jake?
I just did it literally on myself.
Oh, okay.
It's actually, yeah, go ahead and do it. That's totally okay.
Swaymetrics.com, is it?
Yeah, swaymetrics.com.
Okay, awesome. Let's go ahead. Nice to speak with you, Jake, by the way.
Yeah, you too. I'm so excited to learn more. I love SEO, by the way. It's
nice. You never stop learning it.
I know. It's there's always something new. The algorithm's always changing. It's always exciting.
Definitely. Oh, you're doing pretty well. Nothing to worry too much about. So yeah, so it goes through different elements. So meta titles, your descriptions as a starting point. So I think yours is looking pretty well. I don't know if you want to capitalize the first word in here, but overall, I think, yeah, it's pretty custom and looks good. You've got some keyword usage. So I guess you're optimizing for something where your maybe brand name is pretty good, and then there's marketing there and email. Okay, so things you can improve, it's always with the red part. So how I use it, if I'm in a rush, I just go through the red stuff, red stuff. It's really popping out here. So H2 headings, it says you don't have any H1, but you've got H2. And it's something just to look into your code of your site to make sure that you are formatting it correctly. Some CSS stuff, something developers can look into, but alt attributes is like if you're on a WordPress site, I usually just go to the media and then
Mm-hmm.
click on every single image and then update the alt attributes and next and next and next. So
Yeah.
as long as you are good with that, then it's done. Yeah, social sharing is something that definitely Google looks into as well. So
Interesting.
should be adding that to your site.
Are these just open graph and Twitter
Sorry?
Are these just open graph and Twitter boxes, or what do you mean by
Yeah,
social?
so in here it's just really like it checks on if you have got social sharing, any type of, you know, like add this or another tool implemented on your site. So if you don't have it, it just kind of gives you a red mark. Then okay, you should have social sharing on your site because
Gotcha.
Google prioritizes that as well, apparently. HTML size. So in here, I think there's a big difference, like 3 times. So this is something maybe you can look into. Usually just compressing some Java or compressing the images, just basically compressing everything as much as you can will fix this. So you shouldn't be a huge deal. Okay, the redirect is performed, that's good. Oh yeah, this is a big one. So this is the duplicate content area that needs to be done. And I love this tool. Like this is one of the things that I love about this tool because many other tools don't pick this up. So you are like in the know-how. So here it actually really tells you that, okay, this is something that you kind of forgot to do. So it's great. And yeah, overall, as we can see, everything is doing pretty well. So it's like 80 out of 100. So it's awesome.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Fantastic.
I was, I usually like, I kind of nerd out with these things. So I'll like literally just like, if I get stuck on this, on this one task, I'll just kind of like just try and optimize everything to try and get 100. It can be kind of addictive, but then you can kind of go down different rabbit holes with like technical SEO.
Yeah, I don't think you need to always do like it to 100%. I mean, it depends
Yeah.
where you are in your business and, you know, what your role is. So if you're not a, let's say, developer, I can imagine that like things like, I don't know, CSS minification or CSS styles might not be exactly your cup of cake. So,
yeah. Well, I use WordPress and all this stuff is I'm also technical as well, so it's pretty easy to fix all these things.
yeah,
But some
and as
stuff
long
can
as you've
be,
got like Yoast or something like that
yeah,
installed, it helps a lot as well.
yeah.
I love
Cool.
Yoast.
Thank you.
One of my
Yeah,
favorite SEO
Yoast is
plugins.
awesome. Yeah, Yoast is awesome. We taught our new guy that helps out with marketing, like SEO within, like, he just kind of followed Yoast and now he's like pretty familiar with what to do. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, the checklist is awesome.
Maryna, can I ask you some follow-up questions on something you said at the very beginning? You said SEO, you said now is not the time to push ads. Can you dive deeper into why you said that comment?
Yeah, sure. So one of the reasons I believe it's not the best time to push too much ads is because people aren't, well, I guess it also depends on the business, but in most cases, it's not maybe a good idea to spend a whole lot of budget right now because companies actually are cutting down their budget. So lots of, if you're in B2B space, for example, lots of companies are cutting down their budget. So they most probably won't be spending or signing new contracts. I think it doesn't apply to everything. I'm sure there are some kind of, you know, that it doesn't apply to, but majority that's the case. And for B2C, it depends on your business model. So if you're, I don't know, selling soap, then I'm sure you're in demand. But like if you are, I don't know, selling clothes, so I'm not sure like people are really going on shopping right now.
Gotcha. So you're saying as people buy less right now, you should invest in inbound strategies that'll work for now and the long term, as opposed to burning your entire budget to try to sell stuff that won't move off the shelves right away.
Yeah, exactly. So depends on the business. So I don't know what other, you know, business models are here online. So if you guys have any questions and want to talk about your specific case, you can just put it in the chat and we can discuss it.
Perfect. I have another follow-up question. You talked all about repurposing your content. Can you give some examples for your own business of the content that you repurposed to make either long-term accessible to your users or that you thought was important enough that short-term you should republish it for them right now?
Yeah. So there was a time when we actually created an infographic from our blog post. I'll have to really dig that in. But I think infographics, like it's just more shareable for most people. There are some tools that you can also, if you're a small business, you can use like Canva, for example, to make it quick. There are lots of templates there. If you don't have a designer to work with. But other things, like I mentioned, you can do podcasts and then transcribe it, or you can, from your old blogs, you can just use one of the tools and make it in an audio, and then, share the audio file and have another blog post about it. Or you can, make a video out of it. So there are many different ways, or you first make a video and then put it in a blog post. So there are many different ways of, getting around it.
Gotcha. Just digging deeper, one more question. When you say turn a blog into audio, do you have a tool that just uses AI to turn it into audio, or do you record it
There
yourself?
are quite a few. I don't remember exactly how it's called, but I think we actually covered it in one of Growth Channel articles early in the year. So I believe it was maybe somewhere here. Let's dig in. By the way, we have a blog on Growth Channel that covers all different types of tools you can use for marketing. So let's see. So dynamic content, there we go. So there are like all different ones. Yeah, Play HD. There we go. This one.
Gotcha. This is awesome.
Convert articles to audio. So really cool stuff. Easy to use, and WordPress. You can integrate WordPress and Medium with it. So really nice samples. There's pricing here.
This is awesome. I think a lot of people should totally look into this, because as Google Home and Amazon Alexa become bigger, they're also both pushing audio and video snippets in your websites a lot harder. So if you convert it, then you'll probably rank higher in SEO. So
yeah, so this is really cool stuff to check out. And yeah, there are like lots of other tools that we cover here. So if you guys want to have a look, interesting things like you can do automated banner ads generation or AI web content optimization and lots of other stuff. Let's dive in here. All right, so the next thing, SEO as well, is about the structure of your URLs. So if you're like small business, e-commerce or retail, this is something that I think especially is very interesting. Or if you're running a marketplace. I read it on Marketing Examples last week from Harry Dry. His site is amazing. So if you guys are looking for like cool stories, okay, open this. Let me find the URL. We can open it again. So yeah, so lots of different marketing examples from different companies. There it is. And how they succeed. So he's like putting a collection in here. Lots of great stuff to read. So if you're like want to learn more about different cool marketing stories, this is the place to go, definitely. So in here, it's really like a case study on the graph. So how they did it is they split each location URL. So like a category, let's say main category, and then subcategory was, okay, what exactly they served. And then they built, put on link building activities specifically for, each of these different URLs. So it was very kind of specific, but also was driving lots of traffic, because everyone looking, let's say, Chinese restaurants in New York, they would land on this page. So very targeted. So that's something definitely to look into. I don't know if there is any marketplace or retail or in that kind of business here online, but yeah, if you are in this space, definitely something to look into. All right.
So Maryna,
Questions?
yes. So hey, this is Brian. So Grubhub strategy was done, I think 10 plus years ago in a time where SEO wasn't as maybe competitive. If you're a small business like a lead generation service or a data service like Alpha Voice and some of the stuff that we do, what would you recommend on a way to get started?
Alpha Voice. Can you me more
So we're
about
selling
that.
like a lot of leads and data. There's a couple of examples of like Zoom Info, Discover.org, these types of services where a lot of people, most people come to our company to purchase data. And like one of the ideas that we thought about doing was something that everybody does, which is kind of like take the contacts and like basically build the big giant like contact map. But I feel like everybody kind of, Clutch.co does that, ZoomInfo does that, Data.com does that. There's a lot of competition now in showing all of the different contact profiles for people. Is there something kind of like non-obvious that you would recommend for us to do?
Yeah, so there is some things that are, kind of obvious, but I think your competition isn't really doing it. At least I haven't seen it.
Okay.
So your competition, I think, is focusing a lot on also direct outreach, like LinkedIn Sales Navigator and all that. Like, I hate receiving those emails. Don't do that, guys. Like, lots of bad-tempered potential customers out there. So something that I don't see like your specific competition really utilizing is actually in the lines of like content and also communities. So I think communities is like a big thing that is pretty obvious, but not every type of business utilizes them. So there are lots of type of communities. Like, for example, Ross, you shared the link to this webinar in Jake's community, Performance Pros, I believe. So there are like 20 other communities on just Slack that I'm a part of that I think you could share, stuff about what you guys are doing or some valuable information. So that's one. And of course, like there are other communities like on Facebook, LinkedIn, and lots of other like forums and so on. There's actually this site. I don't remember how it's called, but it's basically a collection of all different communities, and then they're filtered by type of business it's relevant for. I'm not sure how it's called. I usually bookmark, so let me just try to find it. Community Finder. There we go. That was quick. So the Community Finder, you can find like lots of cool communities that are outside Facebook that you can kind of join and join the conversations and provide value to. So don't like push sales too much. I know your tool is focusing on kind of more sales element, but try not to be a salesperson and just like provide value to users first, and then if they're interested, they'll definitely contact you for more. So that's actually works very well for our business. So here are like different things like freelance, makers, indie projects, and you can just filter them by whatever, I don't know, like let's say open forum or something like that. How do I go to open forum here?
This is
Before
really
they
cool.
had like a list, but basically there are like lots of different, let me just put away this video stuff here. So like lots of different things about products, open collaboration, makers. So like you can find the basically communities that you should be joining here.
This is great.
All right. Yeah, so
Thank you.
I actually joined quite a few out of this list.
We're going to do the same.
Awesome.
We're going to try to get in there too.
Yeah, and in terms of content, I mean, for you guys, and actually this is the part of the content that I can tell you about that really works for us. So I was in our blog earlier, but basically the point in here is that you don't necessarily always need to like create all the content from scratch yourself, that you can run either like a contest, or you can get like interviews or case studies and work with other companies to kind of co-create something. So in B2C space, you can write maybe like a contest on Instagram and ask people to submit their photos and showcase, I don't know, their amazing shoes or whatever. And then you can use that as a content for yourself, and you'll have enough pictures most probably for like the end of the year. So we've got actually that feedback from our own LinkedIn community when we talked about content co-creation, but for us personally, so we like to run different like interviews with different startups, tech startups and companies in marketing or technology space, and work with them to basically then create different pieces of content. We are always getting over 50 claps on each of our blogs and over 1,000 reads. So for example, like this is the first one, a marketing trends, we had like 66 claps. Then we talked about like growth hacking tips. I think it was like can see it here, like 80 something was probably claps. Working from home, we just published on Monday. So that one got like 225 claps, and people are also sharing it. So every time you have like people basically be part of your content, they'll also be more willing to share it than with their friends and then their friends. So for example, when we talked about 16 growth hackers, we also featured a few that we didn't talk with personally. So for example, like a guy from the West Bush from Product-Led Summit, and the growth hacker and or head of growth from Sprout Social, and they also shared our article. So that was super cool. And we had like, I don't know, like 100 shares from different people talking about this piece of content, and then there are people reacted and shared and so on. So basically it's like endless loop. So this is definitely a type of content that I would recommend doing. You don't only have to focus on this type of content, but like if you really need to like publish something and you are not really a type of person who wants to write the whole long 3,000 words piece, you can do like that. And you can collect responses via Google Form or another tool like that.
A lot of these say 16. So you did the same 16 companies. After you interviewed those 16 companies, how many pieces of content will you get from the pursuit of all of that information that you're getting from those companies?
You mean like how many shares?
Like how many articles? You interviewed 16 companies. Do you write 7 different articles at 7 different angles about those companies?
Yeah, so no, I actually put it all in one piece. So this is one piece of content. And so these are all like collections. However, we also had an article where we had like a deep dive with Bonjoro. So this one, it also got lots of claps and great sharing, but the engagement wasn't as amazing, because when you just interview one company, there's always an element of kind of self-promotion. Mm-hmm. Let's put it this way, and then it seems more promotional rather than let's share all the best practices kind of thing. So in terms of like engagement, it performed maybe less awesome, but it was also a good piece. Like we also got great shares, but mostly then from Bonjoro, of course, and he's sharing. So there was only another party kind of mostly sharing it. Whereas when we have like 50 companies sharing it, or 16 companies sharing it, then it's different.
This is great insight. Also for this show itself, like, would you be part of an article if we wrote it? If so, we're totally going to steal your strategy.
Yeah, that's fine. Still my strategy. It's nothing new. I'm sure like other companies are doing it. So it's just me kind of highlighting it here. All right. So questions about this one?
Yeah, question. So I noticed that you push a lot of stuff to Medium. Do you guys kind of like, what's your I guess your publication process in regards to, hey, you guys have your own blog, you guys have a Medium blog. I know some you can actually kind of like, they just redirect their blogs to a Medium post, or actually just integrate Medium into their custom domain. How does that work for you guys?
Yeah, so we actually just decided to work with Medium. I don't say that this is like the best strategy to go around, but this was our decision. We usually, in general terms, I would recommend to keep your blog on your main domain. So for example, swaymetrics.com/blog, just an example. And that should bring more value in terms of SEO. But we were mostly focusing here also on the outreach, so amount of outreach, because Growth Channel is still like a new domain, so it will be harder for us to push all the traffic to our site, whereas Medium already has readership. And actually, when we published the first blog, AI Marketing Trends, that got picked up by Medium. They published it on their own publication called The Startup. They invited us to be a contributor on their own publication. They included us on their homepage for 3 different categories: marketing, AI, and technology. And also they included our piece in the newsletter. So then we were like, oh, we just published 1 piece, it worked really well, so we continue with Medium.
Wow.
So
Wow, that's
we
awesome.
ran this little test. It was like a little test for us, and then we were like, oh, this is really cool, so we are going to work with Medium.
Very cool. For that, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, to add to that, I think that there's a thing called a canonical URL inside Medium that you can add, which will then pass most of the link juice back to your own blog. So a way to do that is essentially post the article on your blog. Then you can either post half of the article and then kind of like cut off the rest of the article and have it link back to your site. So you kind of have like a trailer. Or you can do like the canonical URL. It's like, I got a little bit of inside info on Medium. If you want some tips and tricks, we should get the head of SEO at Medium to speak on here sometime.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, indeed. There is a way to like also say on Medium, there's a tab like, okay, was this published elsewhere before? So basically, they also tag that. And it also exists in other publications. Like, for example, HackerNoon was inviting us to republish this remote work piece. And there was an element like, okay, was this published elsewhere? Provide the URL, stuff like that. So yeah, that's fine. But then like if you do that, then Medium also kind of deprioritizes the content outreach from their own side. So you might not get featured on homepage and stuff like that. I think we have a chat here. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Great. So I just reading your chat, Brian. So cool. Yeah, if we can
really
get
cool.
More like into SEO, maybe that's something maybe you should talk about in like tomorrow or something in the live.
Yeah,
session.
I gotta get her.
That's
You gotta
really
get her
cool.
on here. She's a little camera shy.
SEO right now. Oh, no, she can close the camera. I'm also camera shy, so usually I keep it closed. Today is an exception. So. All right. Okay, I'll just move on then. So now that we are still on the content element of things, it's always good to also run like A/B tests for your copy, especially like headlines. It's not only about SEO, but it's also about like how consumers or like readers will perceive your piece of content. And there's this cool tool called Euroflash, and they use like psychology in their backend AI to define like which piece of content has high probability of performing better. So we can run a test. Anyone here wants to test any specific piece of content?
Sure.
So this is their site. I'm just like entering into the dashboard. It's pretty cool.
Do you just need some headlines, or what are you looking to A/B test right now?
You can A/B test any piece of content. So it can be like a social post, or it can be just a title. I think titles work best in their in their tool. But yeah, I mean, if you have any other things like a LinkedIn post or anything, any other piece of content that is maybe not too long, we can test it.
How's coronavirus?
It's just like 1 word. I mean, they also have like a discovery thing, like a discovery tool. You can kind of discover associations. So actually we can like, while you're figuring out the title, we can
yeah, I'm just going to come up with a few titles. I don't know how I'd get you a piece of content. Cheek,
I'll put one in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, coronavirus, if they know what it is, coronavirus? No, there's no, I think there's no data for coronavirus. It's very new trend. Okay, so core marketing, this is a good one. Okay, yeah, let's put this. Oh, there is coronavirus here. Yeah, they just took some time to load. So yeah, you can also discover topics. So like, for example, which are there like words, associations with coronavirus? So we have like, people are looking for like vaccine and HIV and influenza and measles and like other topics. So like first circle is the closest one, then second one, third one, and so on. You can also like check the emotional loading. So like it's mostly negative emotions. This one is sort of positive. Vaccine, okay, very positive. Or China, positive. Wow, that's cool. And things like Beijing, well, kind of China still, Japan, and so on. So there are like, you can check like if this is positive emotion, negative emotion, is it like a common word to use in your content? Like, is it, how close is it to initial search, like coronavirus, and then outbreak? Okay, it's pretty much the same thing. And then virus, okay. So pretty interesting stuff to like discover topics and ideas. But yeah, for testing, this is it. Really like this tool. Do you have like a B option for it?
No, so it's like A or B, and then it kind of like analyzes it.
I'll use your SEO option. That's better. Let's use the SEO option. I have 3 of them right now here. So let's do this one, 2, and 3. Okay, let's see our analysis. So if we are looking at the positive side, so B should be the best one, so more positive, like learn SEO marketing strategies is more positive than A and C. So if you're looking like how people will perceive your title in terms of like positive interest or negative, this is the way to go. But there's also like other, you can add associated with or dimensions. So for example, I don't know if there's like interest. Interest, I think there should be like here, interest. Yeah, so how interesting it is, we can add it.
I also see on the bottom they have like suggestions. So that's really
yeah, they also have suggestions. So they use natural language processing as well. So if you're looking at like which title you should use from these 3, B is the best one. So you don't necessarily need to publish piece of content to do an A/B test. You can use NeuroFlash or a tool like that. Pretty cool. All right. So next part here, and I put the link here, so I think you guys have opportunity to go and check it out. I think they have like 7-day free trial, and then it's small monthly fee. Okay, and then another article I read actually over the weekend was from SAS Marketer, Tom Hunt's really cool piece. And let me just like, I think it's this one. Yeah, so it's a piece about Meet Edgar and how they grew in their early days when they just launched. So even after they had the product live, I think my favorite piece of advice from the whole article was regarding the call to action. So most of the SaaS businesses have something like, okay, it's a free trial or get a demo. And what they did is like, get your invitation. And they actually A/B tested it, live A/B tested it. So these different variations. So they had get your invitation, request your invitation, get my invitation, and a few other ones. And this one performed the best. And even though it says like, get your invitation, they actually had like a workflow, a funnel in a way. So they request invitation, but then they already get a link to buy. So they receive an email, here's your URL to click on, you can purchase it right now, and so on. And this strategy increased also their conversions on the website. So from homepage to free trial conversion, 10%. So that's huge. Usually you have like maybe 3%, 3-5% average conversion for SaaS homepage or landing page. So they had 10%. That's really huge. That's maybe something that you guys, you were asking me about some strategies. Like, I think this is the one that maybe you guys should use, and Sway Metrics maybe as well. I think
this is really incredible. Cool. I just love seeing the product in action. It just I've come across NeuroFlash before. I think you shared something with it, but seeing it in action, it's just, you see kind of the magic happening, and then bringing these use cases, really cool.
Yeah, So MIDI is also really nice. I think they're doing like social media management stuff, so nothing especially interesting, but the way they approached the kind of conversion optimization was really cool. So I really love this. And SAS Marketer also publishes lots of cool case studies. So if you guys aren't subscribed yet, I really recommend it. All right. And I think we still have time to go through this one. This is really interesting piece. I also read the other day. So it's one of those personalized video platforms, MIDI Art. There are other ones like Bonjoro, Loom, and like some other ones. So they basically let you record a short video and then personalize elements of it. So then you can, even when you send like a big blast email, each of those videos can be personalized to your recipients, let's say name or company or website or whatever else, the products they have purchased. So they wrote this blog recently about like different use cases. These are my favorite personal ones. So you can use this personalized video in a warm or cold outreach. So instead of sending an, let's say, a sales email like, "Hey, you want to check out our tool?" You can record a video and kind of showcase maybe it a little bit in action and talk about like specifically your company can use our tool, and here is the link in my email, something like that, to kind of proceed. Event follow-up is something really interesting. So maybe like if you did a webinar like this one, you can also then include a video in the in an email or something to make it more personal. Video newsletter, so something similar to that. But press pitch is really something cool. I think most press, like journalists, get their pitch on social media or email, so really boring stuff. But if you include like a personalized video in your press pitch, I think that's something that's definitely gonna grab journalists' attention. And then customer onboarding and like congratulating customers on achieving specific milestones. I think it's also something that would definitely be appreciated by new clients and maybe even decrease your churn rate. So some cool case studies there. Check out the blog. I put a link over here.
So we actually built a tool where we could do something similar to this. And at the very beginning, we found that we had like really high click-through rates, but also lower deliverability because there's a big image in the email. Do you have any suggestions for like how to maximize that for your cold outreach and having these videos? And if you've seen anything like that happen to your own campaigns?
Yeah, so we haven't personally tested it. Like I haven't personally tested it. I think 7 Markets team have tested it, like the sales team. So I can ask them. But what I heard so far is that they were very successful. I don't remember exactly the tool they use. They don't use MIDI Art, Bonjoro, or Loom. They use something else. I'll check out on that. But Bonjoro, so one of the tools that does similar thing, we did this case study on our blog, which we published, and they were saying that actually the open rates and click-through rates have increased. So that's something very interesting to hear that you say the click-through rate is low. Does it go like to spam?
The click-through rate,
like deliverability issue?
It's deliverability. When someone opens the email, the click-through rate is like 10x higher because they have this image and they have a personalized video. But the spam rate, if you don't do everything just right, a lot of them go to spam.
Okay, so which email provider are you using?
Gmail, or So,
but like to send mass email?
Not really. I mean, we were sending mass email and we changed to Gmail. So I'll need to do some more research on my side to give you the exact specifics now.
Okay, well, MailChimp is actually one of the best ones in terms of deliverability. HubSpot CRM is also offering like lots of free stuff, and especially right now they discounted all their prices down twice. So if, let's say, you have too big contact space that you cannot handle on a free version, which is up to 2,000, I think, contacts, their paid modules also have now gone down in price. They just shared the email yesterday or the day before about that. And so, for example, I send it with HubSpot. It doesn't go to spam as often. And we also used a lot of MailChimp in the past, so that was also pretty good. I had bad experience with SendGrid, benchmark email, and eye contact. So those go to spam quite often in my personal experience. Things that you can kind of keep in mind is make sure that you have a text-only optimized email option when you create those emails. Like your subject line test, there's this website called subjectline.com. And it actually gives you a score for your subject line and make sure that it doesn't go to spam. So there are lots of ads around it, ignore. This is the box you need. So yeah, just test it here. Unfortunately, you can only do one test for free, but there's a trick. You just like, if you have many different options, you go to your history, you clear your cookie for this website, and then you can do test again. So that's a trick to keep it free.
Gotcha.
It's my personal trick.
It's good insight, good tools.
Yeah. Yeah, so email, what else? Yeah, so they're like including the unsubscribe option is really important for deliverability, and a few other things. But yeah, as long as you go with tools like MailChimp or HubSpot, which have been designed for making sure that you send lots of emails, so then you should be on the safe side. So I would definitely recommend to maybe use something like that. Because if you use Gmail for like sending hundreds of emails, yeah, they might go to spam. Yep.
Gotcha.
All right, cool. And yeah, other tools I want to share with you guys. So because of all the COVID stuff, lots of tools are now offering some special discounts and stuff like that. So here is a great collection of discounted tools, which this Drag app has published recently. Really great stuff. Let me hide this annoying contact box. I hate this. Don't put this on your sites, guys. Make it closed, or small pop-up, don't make it expand all the way. It's really annoying. So like different tools like Zoom for schools, you have Hangouts, Meet, you have Slack, Upgrade, Dialpad, Microsoft Teams, like really awesome tools. Like we personally went with Cloudflare, like a pro account for free until September for small businesses, really cool stuff. Lots of other great tools that you can kind of explore here, which have discounts. Actually, another tool that has awesome discounts is Join Secret. I think I shared it in a few groups. I don't know if you guys know of this one. Is really cool as well. And they also have many different discounts. So we actually got discounts for Envision and Airtable and some other call tool. So some are free for a certain time, some are discounted. So really cool stuff like SendGrid, you can save 3,500 euros and like lots of cool stuff. So check it out. So that's in terms of like discounts. Other tools I came by are this, you can get reviewed by top bloggers. So that's really interesting. I haven't used it personally yet, so we are going to use it most probably in a month or two. I'm not sure this is the right time right now to get like more press coverage because people aren't as interested in that kind of content. Everyone is like looking for, I don't know, coronavirus specific stuff. So if your business addresses that element of things, that's good. But if not, yeah, maybe just stall in terms of like press for a few months. So we plan to use this a little later, but overall cool concepts that I came by. There's another site which is like PR specific, which is really cheap. I was really surprised to see that. So if you compare it to like going through an agency or let's say even a freelancer doing it for you, so very cheap stuff.
Do you have an example of what you get for your $49 a month? Like a post in a journal people actually know about?
Yeah, I haven't used them. So, but I heard good testimonials from them on like Product Hunt launch. So got really good traction. So I just kind of bookmarked it for myself to use after the pandemic is over. So we're definitely going to test it out, maybe like in a month or two. Another one is here is actually Facebook ads. I also recommend use our own tool. Yeah, for like if you want to get personalized marketing ideas for your business. But another one which is coming up soon is a directory, which is called Revealing. It's really interesting. I heard about it over the last few days. So there you can like add your company, you can add like different news about your company for free, unlimited. You can find and hire experts. You can post jobs. So lots of cool stuff, like in terms of the scope of what they're saying that you can do with their upcoming directory. The listing is free. So they share this Google form. And yeah, I think like if you have a business that either does like events or, you know, like hires people or just wants to get a backlink or publish more kind of company news, I think this is a pretty cool directory to maybe look into for listing, and it's free. You don't lose anything.
It says PR in there. So are you saying this will mostly work like Craigslist where you search for a specific company, or LinkedIn? Or is this something where you post about your company and there's people trying to fill spots in magazines? And if something that you post is interesting, you get some PR out of it because they use your content?
Yeah, so what they were mentioning is that, okay, this is a directory and you can like find experts for your business, or you can, you know, host events on their platform, or you can post, you know, open jobs. I'm not sure if you're doing it right now, but like overall, you can post open jobs, find people for that, and also you can publish news and PR about your company. I think those are different features that they were mentioning that you can do with the company. So it's like seems like a marketplace where you can kind of connect with different things like experts, companies, events in one place. But then also have backlink, like publish and, you know, connect with people.
Gotcha.
So it could be an interesting opportunity. I mean, it's free, so.
Sounds like a mix of Eventbrite, AngelList, and LinkedIn.
Yeah, most probably it is. So it will be very interesting when they launch. I think they have like a coming up soon page or something like that. I saw it on different communities. They were sharing information. Oh. Let's see if they have anything up here. I haven't actually checked the site itself, but like they were just, they haven't posted anything. Okay. Well, they said it's coming up next week. So next week.
Gotcha. Well,
all right. So do we have other like things we can cover? Questions?
I've covered all my questions. Any questions from the audience? Jody?
Yeah, I just have a quick comment. I think all these tools are so useful, especially for like a startup, just like going on a link and just seeing what programs have to offer your company, and then like just going down the rabbit hole, kind of just seeing what they are trying to teach you and like grow. So anywhere, like just having this material, if I was starting a business, I would definitely just start here with this, all the tools that you gave us, and just seeing what's going on.
I guess my follow-up to that question is, because you've showed us so many tools, you say some of these are on your list to get to. What would you prioritize and do first on this list?
Yeah, so I would definitely prioritize the SEO and content right now. And let's say if you are a video person, then also video production, because usually, I mean, we as most of us, I think, in here are marketers, so we're always kind of chasing, and you're always running late and trying to do so many things. So it's always kind of, yeah, I mean, we don't have time for those kind of things, like writing content or producing video or SEO. It always takes a lot of time. So I think now is most probably the right time to do things that maybe take more time but are more long-term impact, rather than, you know, doing those short-term ads. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
And
Maryna,
also they don't cost much, so the price is low or free. So that's definitely something definitely to prioritize right now.
Yeah. So Maryna, like all these tools, all this information, I'm always interested when somebody who's got like such depth of information like yourself, like presents like this. What are your go-tos in terms of like resources, blogs, forums, communities? Like what's on your like top 3 places where you're getting your content from?
Yeah. So I just love a few blogs, like marketingexamples.com is the one that I mentioned here. So from Harry Dry in UK. So he does amazing stuff. You should actually also read his very own The Kanye Story. So if you guys don't know, he actually built and sold his own dating site for hip hop. So that was actually pretty cool. So he has this kind of story, which is really cool. It's like a case study of how he did the whole thing. So how he launched the landing page and got like tens of thousands of leads before even writing any piece of code. It's how he pitched to media before even having any product out there, and he got coverage on CNBC and everyone talking about it. And then he started writing the code. And then how he had trouble with his website and the different communities he went to trying to fix the bugs on his site because he's not even a coder. So it was pretty cool. Like, this is a really cool story. Like, if you guys don't know about this one, you should definitely read it. Very inspirational. Eventually he sold the business for I think 17K or something like that.
Gotcha.
So that's one. Another one that I really like personally is the SAS Marketer. So they've got great case studies. Mostly Tom Hunt writes them, but also now he launched his own podcast. So even if you are not like, I don't want to read this long thing, he also puts it in a podcast. So lots of audio files there to listen to. I would say when you commute, but right now you don't commute, but while you cook, you can listen to it. So these are the 2. And then for tools, I use Product Hunt. So Product Hunt is awesome. Let me just open it up if someone is not familiar with it. So yeah, they have a newsletter, so we definitely sign up. They share one featured tool and then 5 other tools of the day, and then they have a weekly roundup as well. So really like different cool tools that are like trending right now. No-code platform to build internal systems and CRM, very interesting. Airtable and Banner Bear, auto-generate images using Airtable, very interesting. So like lots of cool tools here, databases. So definitely something to sign up for. So these are my top 3. I think that should be enough for now.
That is enough. Maryna, thank you so much for this presentation. You've put so much into these slides that now we have to go all look at and learn from, and they'll all be in the description, and we'll link to this after the show. Thank you for your expertise. You're welcome to come back anytime if you want to update us and speak again. And I'm sure that everyone in the audience is very grateful for the knowledge you've instilled on them today. So with that, we're going to close out Masters of Marketing. Last chance for any last minute questions. Okay, we're done. So have a great day, everyone.
I have a question.
Yes.
Wait. Before you go. Maryna, how can people reach out to you if you want to get in contact with you, your services, et cetera, et cetera?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I think that's the fastest one right now, but you can also check Growth Channel website.
Cool. We'll put that in the description below. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Later.
Bye.